Hey guys, Dusty here. Today I'll be giving my review and experience with the Garmin Forerunner 265. And for me, this was a very nice upgrade from the Garmin 245 Music. And in this review, I'll go over kind of the basic specs on this watch, some of the smartwatch features, and then of course all the fitness features that this watch has. Alright, so like I mentioned, this was an upgrade from the Garmin 245 Music. And straight out of the box, aesthetically, one of the nicest upgrades was the screen. So the Garmin 265 has an AMOLED display. And the colors on this watch are more vibrant and bright than I've ever experienced on any sort of GPS or Garmin watch before. The watch itself comes in two different sizes. I just have the regular, and then there is a 265S version, which is just a smaller watch. So for most people, you're going to be just fine with the regular. However, if you have really petite wrists, then you might want to look at the 265S version. Now, as far as battery life, according to Garmin, you're going to get up to 13 days in smartwatch mode. And then in GPS mode, you're going to get up to 20 hours. So for those of you watching who are Ironman triathletes, you should be able to get enough battery life to last an entire Ironman event. This watch is also a touchscreen. I personally don't use that at all. I only use the buttons on the side. And then some of the smartwatch features, you can load this up with your music or podcasts. So I have Amazon Music, and I will put songs and podcasts onto this, and then I can play that from my watch into wireless headphones. Another smartwatch feature, one that I personally don't use, is this has Garmin Pay. So you can connect one of your credit cards to this watch, and then when you're checking out at a store, you can go into the Garmin Pay feature and simply tap your watch on the POS machine to pay for your purchase. And then of course you're going to be able to have notifications sent from your phone to the watch, which I like to send texts and emails. That way, if I'm cooking or if I'm busy at work and my phone is away, I can still see what emails and texts I'm receiving without having to actually pull my phone out. All right, now we get into all the good stuff, the fitness features. So first of all, when you wake up in the morning, this thing is going to give you a morning report. This is just a cool little thing that I've loved since getting this watch. Mostly it's just going to give you a bunch of recovery metrics and how you slept, but it's one of the first things I like to look at when I wake up. Kind of just gives me a snapshot of my day and lets me know if basically I'm looking at this morning report and seeing if anything is really a lot lower than it should be. If it is, I typically ask myself, did I have a poor sleep? Did I not have enough sleep? Was the workout I did the previous day way too hard? A lot of these questions are answered in this morning report, and it's just something that I really enjoy. Now, as far as the fitness activities go, there's no shortage of options on this watch. So for me, I primarily use the running feature. There is a treadmill running feature, a track running feature. You're going to have multiple cycling, multiple swimming, and many other activities that you can use. I've had the watch for a couple of months now, and when I'm out running and synced up to the satellite, I haven't had any inaccuracy. If I run with someone else who has the same watch, almost all the time we'll have the same exact numbers no matter what. As far as accuracy goes, A+. So you saw some of this in the morning report. However, this watch is packed with a bunch of recovery metrics. So you can see here it's giving me my HRV status, and you can click into any of these to see more info. I like using HRV for recovery and as well as peak performance. And actually just a few weeks ago I was getting quite sick, and my HRV was one of the first signs. My HRV just plummeted, and in the past I've found that to be a good indicator of when something's not quite right in my body or I'm not recovering properly. It's also going to show you a training status based on a few different things. It does measure your heart rate. There is a wrist optical heart rate sensor, and one thing I will mention about that is I think it tracks heart rate just fine throughout the day. However, when it comes to activity, especially running, I find more often than not, the heart rate readings you're going to get from this watch, from most watches that have wrist-based heart rate, is that it's not very accurate. So when I go out for my run, I almost always make sure that I have a chest strap and bypass the wrist sensor. And usually I find it's inaccurate during easy runs. So I'll do a very easy run where my heart rate should be 120 beats per minute, and it'll tell me I did the last 20 minutes of the run at 190 beats per minute. And then as a result of that, it's also going to mess up a bunch of your recovery metrics. So just keep that in mind. I know plenty of others that have issues with wrist-based sensors as well. And for me personally, I don't put much worth in the wrist-based sensor when it comes to running performance. Another great thing is it'll actually track your sleep. So it'll give you a sleep score, tell you how long you slept for, the quality of your sleep, It'll break down the stages of sleep, and of course it'll track all of your steps. It'll also track the amount of floors you've climbed in the day. You also have a pulse oximeter, and then another cool feature, one that I haven't used yet, but there is a live track feature with this watch. So for this you do need to have your phone with you, but with this live track feature others are able to track your activity in real time. So let's say you have a big marathon race coming up and you want your friends and family to be able to follow along with you. As long as you have your phone with you during the race, you'll be able to have others track you through this Garmin Live Track feature. Well, another cool thing about this watch, I don't use this because I have a Stride running pod which measures my power, but you can use this watch as a power meter. So I should clarify, this isn't going to be a power meter on the bike, but if you're interested in running power, you no longer have to go out and get an external piece of hardware like a Stride pod. This watch has it built into it. So that's not going to be for everyone, but just keep that in mind for us nerdy runners out there. You are able to track power, aka watts, while running with the Garmin 265. All right, so who is this watch best for? I think this could be a nice upgrade from a beginner watch. So if you're coming like me from the Garmin 245 or even the Garmin 255, Garmin 45, Garmin 55, maybe you just want a nicer display, or especially if you want a little bit more metrics that your watch can track, then it would be worth it to upgrade to the Garmin 265. And who is this watch not suited for? I think especially ultra trail runners, this watch probably isn't going to be in their wheelhouse. Those types of runners are going to want something that has a much longer battery life and possibly more navigational or map features. But overall, I gotta say, super solid watch. I have no issues with it. It's been my favorite Garmin watch that I've ever had, and I've had a lot of them over the last probably 15 years. And lastly, price, you're looking at $450 US or 600 Canadian. I actually ended up purchasing mine through the Air Miles website. I had enough points saved up and I thought this could be a nice upgrade for me. So anyways, there's way more we could have gotten into about this watch, but I think that's good enough for now. Let me know if there's any questions you have about this watch or some of the features that I didn't go over. Leave your comments down below and I'll be sure to get back to you. Like always, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.